Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyra, and here on my channel we are all about real makeup for real life and real people. Here, a very special welcome to you. I hope you will consider subscribing if you like what you see today. It'll help you find my videos more easily when I upload on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for you guys. And allegedly, if you ring that notification bell to all, YouTube will let you know when that happens. Today's video is my ranking recent purchases. This type of video has a lot of names here on YouTube. There's speed reviews, bite-sized reviews, things like that. But not only do I give you these tiny reviews, I also rank the products in the order of which I'm most excited to use again. This month I'm doing it a little differently because I have so much, and just because I don't feel like it's really fair to pair up a mascara or rank a mascara with or against an eyeshadow palette, which is clearly much more exciting unless you're a mascara person, which is cool. So I just broke the ranking up a little bit today in categories, and so that is what we are up to today. I also wanted to mention that this is a little bit of a catch-up video. These products were purchased last year in 2020, October, November, December, somewhere in that realm. Basically the products that I needed to still review from last year. And then you can expect to see one of these videos roughly every month, but with less products. So we better get into it. I'm gonna go ahead and start with base products. I have 6 base products to rank today, and coming in at number 6 is the Pixie Correction Concentrate in the shade Brightening Peach. This comes in last, not at all because of its quality or performance or anything like that. This simply comes in last because it's more utilitarian than anything. And also, I have owned this product before, so it's nothing new or exciting or something that I'm just like thrilled to have. It's just a repurchase so that I have one color corrector in my collection at least. All right, coming in at number 5 is this Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. And I have mine in the shade For Neutral. It's a decent shade match for me. The only reason I'm putting this where I am is that this is a super full coverage foundation. It does last all day, and I think for that reason, it's a really good foundation, and it's one that I will enjoy having this small amount on standby for events, for situations where I need my foundation to last all day, or maybe my skin is mad at me, like it is now because of all of the sweets and things like that that I partook, is that a word? All the sweets I ate over the holidays. It has a nice natural finish, so it's not too matte or anything, but it is really long lasting, and that one comes in at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is the foundation I'm wearing today, which is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. I have the shade Fiji. Definitely a little bit more full coverage than what I'm used to or what I tend to wear, but I do really like this product. I will say 100% you need to apply this with your fingers. If you're not into that, you might just want to skip this one. It's how it's recommended to be used on the NARS website and the information on Sephora. I got this as well as the Charlotte Tilbury and the next foundation I'll talk about, all as like promos to add on to Sephora orders. And I like having this little one here. It's a little bit more full coverage. I tend to wear it about medium coverage, I would say, but it's a really good one for days where I do feel like I'm having a lot of unevenness in my skin, or, you know, a lot of breakouts that I'm wanting to cover up, or healing breakouts, things like that. I think it applies really well that way. I wouldn't say that this is probably a perfect shade match for me. It might be a titch too yellow, but it works enough for me to use this up, and it comes in at number 4. This is going to be a long video. I better make this more speedy. Coming in at number 3 is a product that I have always wanted to try ever since I knew it was a thing, since I started watching YouTube, etc. And that is the MAC Mineralize SkinFinish Natural. I have mine in the shade Light Plus. This is a really beautiful powder, but it's pretty standard, right? There's no like super bells and whistles. I don't think this is the best like powder out there by any means. I really like and think that my number 7 powder, the Perfect Light Pressed powder, does just as well for me as this one does. But alas, I got it out of my system. I do like it. I will use it up. Coming in at number 2 is also a concealer that I've been wanting to try for some time. It's the Oma Beauty Stay Woke Concealer. I have mine in the shade Fair Lady T2, but this has like some thickness to it, but also it's very lightweight. It's almost like a moussey texture in my opinion. I really like this. I think, you know, this would work for a variety of preferences in terms of light coverage to more full coverage. Absolutely, you can use this as a full coverage concealer, but for me, I just like a little dot on the inside and the outside and tap it out with my fingers or a concealer brush. And it's really great. I'm really glad I picked that one up. And then coming in at number 1 is my favorite foundation from the month of Shop My Stash. And another little sample, it is the Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation. I have mine in the shade 3N. This is a little deep for me right now, but it still works because it's very liquidy. It's very able to be sheared out, which is definitely my sweet spot when it comes to foundations. This is one I will absolutely consider purchasing at some point in 2021. It's just beautiful. It is so lightweight on the skin that it feels like you're wearing nothing, which is also my sweet spot, but it's just enough to sort of even things out. And for my combination skin, I find that this is really nice in terms of not adding too much of a layer of makeup on my face that will tend to break up with my oils and things like that throughout the day. I was really surprised how long lasting this was for it being a sheer foundation and, you know, things like that, but it turns out this was my favorite. This is probably one of my favorite foundations I've discovered recently. So yay! We'll do colored face products next. I had 9 to rank this time. And coming in at number 9 is the Revlon Skin Lights Prismatic Highlighter with a caveat. I've used this enough to know that I don't know how to use this properly. Maybe that's not true. This is a recommendation from Taylor Wynn, and I just don't understand why I don't like this. It's a really pretty color, and I was wanting something more golden in my collection, but something about this just absolutely emphasizes every tiny bit of texture that I have on my skin, and I don't know why that is. I mean, I think just some formulas do that, but I would have to assume that there's some way to make this work, because I do take Taylor's recommendations very seriously, because she's recommended so many things that I now own that I absolutely adore. So I am going to keep working with this one, but it definitely was not my favorite colored face product that I picked up most recently. Coming in at number 8 is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer in the shade Forever Sunkissed. This is a repurchase for me. I had let this one go to my stepmom. She was wanting to try a bronzer that was very easy to use, not too orangey or anything like that. So I thought this was a perfect one for her, and so I went ahead and passed that along. But I passed it along because I wasn't gaga over this bronzer when I had it previously, and now having it again, I actually really think that this is a nice bronzer. Very smooth, it's very easy to apply, it's blendable, it lasts a long time since it's primer infused, and I've come to realize that I like this just as much as the Primer Infused Blush from e.l.f. The only reason it ranks so low is because of the other products that are in this ranking, so I do like it. Coming in at number 7 is the Revlon Skin Lights Prismatic Bronzer. I forgot to say the shade on the highlighter, I'm so sorry. Daybreak Glimmer. That's really hard to say. Daybreak Glimmer. And then this one is Sun-Kissed Beam, and this is the bronzer. These have absolute beautiful embossing on them. This really reminds me of a matte collection that came out last year. I love this bronzer. I really do. I hadn't planned to swatch that many. This is definitely more of a satin formula. It is firmly pressed, which I like because it makes it easy to pick up on a brush. You're not gonna get too much if, you know, you just put your brush in there. It's just really nice. Let's talk about a new cream product that I tried recently. This is a sister brand of the ColourPop brand. It's Soul Body. And this is the Face and Body Bronzing Balm in the shade Medium. I saw this product over on Samantha March's channel, and she doesn't even like cream products, so when she said she liked this one, I was super intrigued, and I really like this one. First of all, I think the color is really nice. This is what it looks like swatched, but then I will kind of blend it out a little bit for you. Looks like this. Kind of similar in shade to the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer, I would say, erring a little bit more on this yellow side of things, so to speak. It does have a very light coconut / tropical smell, a little bit more than coconut, I would say, but it's very faint. Can't smell it on the face or anything like that. I love that this is like so big. It reminds me a lot of the packaging or the style of packaging from the Chanel Tan de Chanel, like bronzer, cream bronzer that you can't get anymore. But I do really like this one. It's big enough to get my sponge in there. It's big enough to get a nice sized bronzer brush in there if I like. And of course it's really inexpensive coming from ColourPop or its sister brands. So I do really enjoy this one, and I would say, I don't know, I'm just really glad I purchased it. That's all I have to say. Coming in at number 5, I did go ahead and pick up another ColourPop Super Shock blush, and this is in the shade Too Cool for School. This had been recommended to me some time ago, and I finally pulled the trigger last year, and I'm so glad I did because it's this really unique sort of rusty orange shade. It does have a slight sheen to it that's kind of on the golden side. I don't know if you'll be able to, yeah, I'm able to see. So I was really excited to add this one to my collection. I don't want to buy like all the Super Shock cheeks or anything like that, but when I see a color that I like, I know I love this formula. It's very cream to powder and just lovely all together. So I was really glad to pick up this shade and glad that it worked out for me. Coming in at number 4, another cream product. Are you surprised? This is the Honest Beauty Creme Cheek Blush. I have the shade Rose Pink. I'm really glad that this is the shade I went with. This falls into sort of my favorite category of blush, which is like dusty rose, mauve, but a little bit warmer. I don't know, it's really pretty. It is one of those formulas. It reminds me of the Kosas Color and Light Creme Blush and Highlight Duos, in that you kind of have to warm up the surface of the product with your fingers before applying it, which is why I would recommend applying it with your fingers. You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying that's how it works best. But I love this color. It looks so fresh on the skin. It just gives you like juicy cheeks, and it does set down. I wouldn't say it necessarily sets down completely, but it's definitely not tacky. You know, your hair's not going to stick to it or anything like that. But I love this. I'm kind of sad that I waited so long, honestly, to try that one. So coming in at number 3 is an Hourglass product. This was a new shade of blush, their ambient lighting blush that they put out at the end of 2020, and it's the shade, open the package, Kyra, At Night. And it's this beautiful burgundy kind of swirled with this like golden powder, and it just is so pretty. If you watched my blush collection and declutter, you will know that my jam in terms of blush is sort of like this terracotta, almost sunburny color. But of course, this is in that gorgeous, gorgeous ambient lighting blush formula, which I also love. So I was really excited to pick this up. I picked it up on the recommendation of Charlotte Holdcroft, and man, was she right. This is gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. And it's one of those blush too that I think you could wear with a lot of different looks. Coming in at number 3, I was thrilled to make this purchase towards the end of 2020. The Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer, and this is in the shade Diffused Bronze Light. Now, looking at the marbling here, you're gonna be like, there's no way that's deep enough for you to wear as a bronzer. But it really is. Once you really swirl things around, it is definitely going to show up. You know, maybe not on medium to deep skin tones, but on my skin tone, it does show up. I love how natural it looks, and it looks natural and flawless and blended and all of that because of that ambient lighting swirl in there. And one of my favorite ambient lighting powders is diffused light, which is what this is swirled with. So I'm so happy to have this. I'm happy to have it in a full size, and I can't wait to use it more. And then lastly, in the colored face products, this was from Holiday 2020, still available at the time that I am filming this video. And number 1 in my eyes is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Superstar Glow Highlighter. You can see I've already, you know, made a noticeable dip in mine. It is such a pretty shade. I was obsessed with the Nabla one for a good part of the year last year, but when I tried this one, I just loved it just as much. This one's a little deeper than the Nabla one, which is great because the Nabla one I can wear at any point in time, whereas this one's going to be fantastic as my skin gets more and more color throughout the warmer months. It's got that very soft, almost like an eyeshadow texture, a lot like the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Pressed, but just a whole bunch better. So I really love this, and it was number 1 out of the colored face products that I tried toward the end of last year. All right, I had 6 miscellaneous products, as I would call them, and I am starting with number 6 is the Lime Crime Wet Cherry Gloss in the shade Cherry Slime. This is so fun. I just thought this was the most fun shade. I saw this on Heather Austin's channel. She really enjoys this, and I just like what it looks like over other lip colors. You just catch that little bit glint of a green, and it's pretty. I mean, it doesn't look like zombie lips or anything. Plus, I love this formula. I actually ended up purchasing this like clear shade as well, which I'm wearing right now. I will say with this glittery one, I can fill the glitter a little bit on my lips, as well as it leaves all of the glitter behind on your lips when the glossy part wears away. So just something to be aware of. Numero 5 is the L'Oreal Air Volume Mega Mascara. I do really like this mascara. It definitely gives volume. It has this pretty, you know, standard brush here. It is a little bit more of a wet mascara, so if you get it and at first it seems like, you know, maybe it's not as volumizing as it claims, give it a week. Mascaras need to dry out a little bit sometimes in order to create volume. If you want length and la la la, a wet formula is definitely what you want. You want volume, the drier the better, because it will kind of dry and build on itself more quickly. But this is a good one. I do like the drama and the volume that it gives to my lashes. It's not the one I'm wearing today. I'm wearing Essence Lash Princess, but I'm really enjoying this one. It's one I would consider repurchasing in the future for a more dramatic mascara. And I would say that this is somewhat similar to the effect that you would get with the Essence one, the green Essence one, which is the false lash effect. So, I mean, this one's, I'm sure, more expensive than the Essence one, but they're both good and they both kind of serve the same purpose in my collection. Number 4 is a holiday lip duo, I believe it was. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Walk of No Shame lip duo. It comes with a mini lip cheat in the shade Walk of No Shame, as well as the full-size lipstick. I really like this color. At first I was like, oh, I don't know, because it's just a little different than what I would typically wear. But I actually feel like this is a really wearable red. If you like the look of red lipstick on other people, but like the orangey ones scare you or the deep ones scare you, this is kind of like a perfect happy medium, not too warm, not too cool, has a little rosiness to it. And of course it's in the balm formula of the Lip Cheat and the Matte Revolution lipstick. So this was really good. I really enjoy it. And that's all I have. Number 3 is a random single eyeshadow. I didn't want to include this with the palettes, so I put it in the miscellaneous category. It is a ColourPop Super Shock Shadow, and this is in the shade Ladybird. Look at that shine. It is their Ultra Glitter formula, so it is glittery. You will want to know that. But this is so pretty over like any eyeshadow look. In fact, I'm gonna add just a little bit to my eyeshadow look right now. Just press this a little bit in the center. And just look at that. Like, boom, your eye look is completely amped up. I hope you can see that anyway. But this was a recommendation from Mandy Lee here on YouTube. Any of the creators that I mentioned in this video, I will have linked below because I think they all give fantastic recommendations on makeup. They're people that I trust. But Ladybird, holy smokes, that is a beautiful Super Shock shadow. I don't tend to have glitter fallout with the Super Shock formula, and so if you're looking to have something in your collection that will just kind of zhuzh up any look that you might create, I recommend it. So that's what it looks like. It is very transparent. It's just got a lot of beautiful like beige and almost silver reflect to it. All right, last 2 are also lip products. Number 2 is my newest MAC lipstick. It is in the Luster formula, which is new to me, kind of like their more sheer, like balmy formula, if you will. This is the shade Patisserie. And this was a Jessica Braun recommendation. I love getting lippy recommendations from Jessica because we have a very similar natural lip color. And I know she runs into the same issue that I do, and that is that so many things look like they'd be fine, but we get them home and they're too light and look really weird over a deeper natural lip tone. But this is just one swipe, so you can kind of see what the formula is actually like. It's very sheer, can be worn very sheer. You can also build it up though, and it's just a really beautiful lipstick. I've enjoyed it a lot in 2020 when I've been wearing more lightweight, light tone lip colors, so boom. And then lastly, oddly enough, in this category is a lip liner, and it is the Milani Understatement lip liner in the shade Nude Entrance. I love this. Not only do I really enjoy the formula, but this color is also just like probably one of my perfect nude shades. This is it right here. It's so pretty, but the formula is really great. The formula is kind of similar to the Charlotte Tilbury lip cheat formula in that it's super duper creamy, glides on the lips, easily fill in the lips, but then when it sets down, it is down. Like, it is very long lasting and long wearing, and I just think this is great. I've had to resist the urge to buy more shades because this is the perfect one. I was looking for a nude, I bought a nude, I have a nude, I don't need any more. Time for some eyeshadow palettes. Okay, so the palettes I am ready to briefly review for you today, and I will link any like related, that's the word I was looking for. I will link any related videos to these palettes down in the description box for you in case you missed it. I love to do multiple looks with eyeshadow palettes, sometimes even up to 7 or 10 eyeshadow looks. So let's get into the ranking. I had 6, like I said, and coming in at number 6, it's the ColourPop and Raw Beauty Kristi at Foresight palette. You'll see why this came in at number 6 when you see the other palettes that I'm ranking today. But this is stunning. I definitely did multiple looks with this. The mattes in here are absolutely phenomenal. The best mattes I have ever tried from ColourPop. Their formula can be, you know, very different from palette to palette and even collection to collection. And this one is, it's just the best matte formula I've ever tried from ColourPop. And I would say across the board, their mattes are really good. So I think that says something. The only downside, and maybe why I'm least excited to dive into this one again, is that there are only 2 shimmers in there, and I love me some shimmer, but this is a great like go-to jewel tone palette. There's some definite unique shades in here. I think any of these shades in here would be gorgeous as a one shadow look in terms of the mattes. So it did fall to number 6, but I love this palette. Coming in at number 5, without further ado, is the Pat McGrath Mothership Mega Celestial Divinity palette. And this was from holiday 2020, and I was very excited to get my hands on this palette because I haven't tried Pat McGrath shadows before. I know that these shadows really probably don't compare to her actual Mothership palettes that she puts out from time to time, but I was excited about this color story regardless of who was putting it out. Had you put this in Natasha Denona packaging, I would have bought it. Had you put this in e.l.f. packaging, I would have bought it. So I really enjoyed this. I still don't think I have even scratched the surface of the looks that I could create with this palette. So I'm really looking forward to pulling this out even like every season and like, okay, what kind of looks that I can make for winter? What kind of looks could I make for spring, and so on. And so this was just phenomenal. I mean, these shadows in here, I just can't even stand it. Like, 2 of my favorites are this purple right here and then the one underneath it, which I know is called Dragonfly. This one is a duochrome. It's like plummy and green. And then this is like the most beautiful electric purple in life. So just 2 of my favorites. I could swatch the whole stinking thing, but these are beautiful. And again, it falls where it was simply because of what it's up against. Coming in at number 4 is the Charlotte Tilbury Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize. I was very glad that I ended up picking this one up this year. I really hesitated on it, mostly because of these 2 pink shades right here, because I just don't tend to gravitate towards those types of pinks. But I really enjoyed what I came up with when I did do 4 looks with this, you know, featuring each trio. I just like these palettes in general. I like the simplicity of the trios in here. Not that I won't break out from the trios. I absolutely will mix and match and things like that. But when I am looking for simplicity, but you know, maybe a little bit more zhuzhed up than like Urban Decay shadows, for example, I love these palettes. I had purchased the one in 2019 as well and have gotten a lot of usage out of it. So this one comes in at number 4, but oh, I love this palette. Coming in at number 3, a little bit more utilitarian palette as well, and that is the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I love these midi sized palettes. I love the minis. I love the big ones, but I'd rather they were just all mid-size like this. If I'm being honest, I don't need that much eyeshadow, and I'd rather not pay the $129. This is really phenomenal. I love that this is airing neutral to cool tone mostly, and again, I think this is just like a great everyday palette. I know it says glam on it, and you certainly can achieve glam with this palette, but I also think this is just great for everyday life. All the neutrals, beautiful soft lid shades. You've got enough depth to, you know, anchor the look in your outer corner if you choose to do so. I like the choices for mattes that they have in here, but I do love this palette. It's a great everyday palette. Coming in at number 2 is the Natasha Denona Triochrome palette. I love this palette, and what I love about this palette is the mattes. The Triochrome, Duochrome, Multichrome, whatever you want to call them, metallics, beautiful, absolutely beautiful, no matter how many shifts it has to it. But the mattes are where this is at. Even this color right here, which is a weird androdite, yeah, it's so pretty. I mean, and it shows up. You can see the green of the shade when you apply it. I cannot wait for the day where I can just do a 2 shadow look with these 2 mattes right here, this like deeper army green color, like up in the crease, and just blend it out, and then this really beautiful light green all over the lid. I think that would be so stunning. And just for gits and shiggles, we will also swatch Scarab, which is just so pretty. You can see the shift there as it goes deeper to lighter. It's This was probably one of the most exciting releases to me of 2020, along with the Pat McGrath palette. But this has every bit of the quality that I know and love from Natasha Denona. Coming in at number 1 in the eyeshadow palettes that I tried at the end of 2020 is the Biba palette from Natasha Denona. I wanted this palette from the time it came out, but I just couldn't in my mind justify this neutral color story. Meanwhile, over the next couple of years, I proceeded to buy a ton of neutral palettes. It wasn't until I tried the dupe, which is the Sahara palette from Alter Ego, that I figured out just how much I would use this color story. And I love the textures in here. She's got the cream to powder shadows, her creamy matte shadows, and 3 perfect shimmers in here. And I just love this palette. It would be, if I had to go to the desert island that everybody talks about and only take one eyeshadow palette with me, I think it would be this one, because I just love it. I don't know why I would be doing my makeup on a desert. Is it desert or deserted? Yeah, either way. On this island, I don't know why I would have any need for makeup, but if I did, it would be this one right here. And I just love it, and I can't explain why. And frankly, I don't have to. Here we are. I am all caught up on my ranking. I have been keeping track of what I purchased in December and so far in January. So we will have another ranking in February toward the end of the month. I like to give myself a good 4 to 6, 8 weeks to try products out, really form my opinions, get my reviews out before I rank them and give kind of like my final end all be all on these products. So hopefully that makes sense, and especially if you're new here. With all of that said, I'm going to sign off this incredibly long video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful makeup days, and I will see you in my next video soon.